Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day. Welcome to the Fasce Cast, your weekly podcast of everything football. We got fantasy, we got all the predictions, betting lines, news, you name it. We have it all here. We're going to be every single Thursday morning, 8 a.m., over on YouTube at the Fasce Cast. And today, we are joined here by the Fast Brothers. So let's get right into it. Let's talk some football, guys. What do we got today?
Well, let's start off with the pick'ems, shall we?
That sounds great.
Thursday night game, Thursday night football, great time. Actually, have some decent games the past few weeks. This one, divisional matchup, Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now on DraftKings, the Eagles are the favorites with a -3.5 spread. And yeah, this one's going to be a good game. Divisional matchup. Commanders coming off their loss. Eagles coming off their big win. And, well, I can't really say that big, but, you know, it was a win. Anyways, for me, it's too, sorry, I apologize. I know. I'm sorry. It has to happen, though, eventually. Like, once every, I get one. But, Eagles and Commanders, two good-looking teams right now. The Eagles, they're kind of out of their funk. They're playing actually very well. The big thing with them for me is their defense, which actually is doing incredibly well. And the Commanders, they're getting better each week with their defense. Their offense still led Jaden Daniels, still great. But yeah, they come up short last week. And I think this is gonna be a close match. I have the Eagles winning this one, but because it's a divisional matchup, because it's two good teams, I think they're gonna keep it close to the field goal. So I'm gonna take the Commander spread at +3.5.
All right. Well, now that I'm next, here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna test this little new system we got going here, just for a little bit. Let me do some little boop, 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 boop. Who did the Eagles play last week?
I don't think we need to be boop.
Oh no, just to test out the new boop, boop, boop. Who did the Eagles play?
So the ruling on the field is the Eagles decimated the Cowboys last week.
Okay,
all right, thank you for that, Mr. Boop Boop Boop. Yeah, so exactly what Caleb was saying. Out of their funk, I think not. I think the Eagles have picked up some games here against easy opponents. The Cowboys are in absolute shambles. And I'm the first to admit that our season is over. We should play for draft picks at this point. I don't trust in the Eagles at all. And to be honest, what I'm going to do here is for my first whoopsie daisy of the week, Thursday night football, first game of the week. I'm taking Commanders money line. I think they win this game in Philadelphia as well. And yeah, I just got a money line. Let's go Commanders.
I will say that's a pretty good poll. I'm not going to lie to you. I was kind of rolling on the same page here as Caleb with the spread at +3.5. I mean, I've been saying all year, like, the Eagles just, I don't know, they don't seem like the Eagles that showed up in the first, 3 quarters of last season before they imploded. So, for my first whoopsie daisy of the week, back to back, belly to belly, I'm taking the Commanders to beat the Eagles this week in Philadelphia.
That's what I'm talking about, brother.
All right,
let's go.
Well, I'm glad you two agree, because I was almost thinking maybe I was out of my funk, but these guys have gone 0-1 on the Thursday night games the past 3 weeks in a row, so. Yeah, you could listen to me or you could listen to them. It's your choice with that information.
Might have just had to. This could have potential for game of the week.
It sure could.
It could.
It depends on what Eagles come out to play. The funk Eagles or the Eagles that have been playing pretty well.
I think there's a clear-cut game of the week, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we will get there. Speaking of eyeball avoiders, even though we weren't speaking of it. The first 1 o'clock game, Minnesota Vikings against the Tennessee Titans. The Vikings kind of struggling a little bit here the past couple of weeks. Sam Darnold kind of in his interception funk, but we'll get more on that later. The Tennessee Titans, Will Levis comes back. I actually don't know if there was a meme. I actually have not seen one, so I have to get on that. I do have to get on that. But yeah, the Titans can't generate offense still. It was a little better than what it has been. Will Levis actually kind of looked okay at first, but then went back to his normal form. The Titans' defense is great. Offense, horrible. Vikings, I think if they can get out of this funk, they are favored -6 too. I don't believe I said that. Yeah, but I'll take the Vikings -6 spread as long as Sam Darnold can handle the interceptions that he's been having. I think this will be a good game for them to come back and win big.
All right, so I mean, back-to-back games here. You mentioned a funk thing. I think your radar's a little bit off, brother.
No, I don't think so.
I don't see the Vikings in a quote-unquote funk at all. I think a desperation Jags team. Let's say, I don't think they're horrible.
You believe not scoring a touchdown against one of the worst defenses in the league is a good thing for someone that's
Here's what I'll have to say.
good as they are?
Here's what I'll have to say. One, they beat the spread last week. So they were above their spread. If you bet on Vikings, you won money. So they won over what they were expected to win by. Yeah, not a touchdown, doesn't look great. But also, I don't think we can knock off the Jags off the wagon because they only have 2 wins on the year.
Or because
They're
starting
still
Mike Jones?
they still want wins. They still, they're still a competent football team. We can't forget Alder last year. They won over the spread, and I think this is going to be a pretty easy game. I'm taking a -6, just throwing that out there, but I think this is going to be a pretty easy game. And they're not off. They're definitely making the playoffs this year. I think they have a possibility to go a deep run too. They're still a very solid football team. Defense is great. Their offense is going to go pop off, and they have the best wide receiver in the whole entire NFL. So I think they're okay. I think they're good. Vikings -6.
I'm gonna roll that. I'm gonna ride that train with you here. I'm taking Vikings -6 as well. Tennessee is just one of those poverty franchises that, I mean, this is an eyeball avoider, but only for the aspect of one team being absolute garbage. I don't think Minnesota's. Yes, last game was, to me, it was an anomaly. Like, quarterbacks have bad games, and I think that was just that one bad game of the year for Darnold. Maybe he's hitting that stride. We'll get into it, but I'm taking -6. I think the Vikings, like brother said, are still a very sound, good football team, and I think they clear the spread.
You know what?
That's
You
a clean
guys made me
sweep.
change my mind. For my first whoopsie days, to give me the Tennessee Titans at home against the Vikings. Yeah, I
Wait.
said it. I think they're going to lose this game, and you guys are going to be wrong. Sam Darnold is not the man you thought he was at the beginning of the season.
Oh my God,
Give me the Titans for the big upset. Go ahead.
still going.
Mark it down.
Wait,
Next game, 1 o'clock.
wait, like
Green Bay
actually?
Packers, Chicago Bears.
He's
Hold
I'm
on.
already on the next one, guys. You guys have to keep up here.
am I actually changing this right now?
Oh, you're changing it right now. You're changing it right now. Give me the Tennessee Titans money line. Go ahead. Mark it down.
Like you're being 100% serious.
Oh, I'm being 100% serious.
like in pen or pencil.
Is it
so
gonna
you
be
can
right?
take it later.
No? Maybe?
He said no.
Listen.
Wait, so I'm writing
either
this
right.
in right now.
No, you're writing it in. Listen, okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm either right
Okay.
or I'm wrong. There's a 50-50 chance, okay?
I put it in. I locked you in for that. So
Yeah, no, do it. No, I'm already on the next game.
Okay.
Guys. You guys,
All right.
come on. Get with it. Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, divisional matchup. The Bears, I don't know what's happening right now. They started off slow, got hot. Caleb Williams looked pretty good, and then their bye week happened, and it's been downhill ever since. 3 points against the Patriots is just not what you want to have especially in the division that they're in. And the Packers now coming off their bye, I think they are gonna have fun against the Bears. And also, with their history, I just think the Packers screw over the Bears all the time. So Packers favored -6. I'll take the -6 in Chicago.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Yep, it is.
I was like waiting for brother to go, but yeah, it's me. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I heard rumors too. I don't know if it's true or not that the players wanted um, a baguette to go in and take out Caleb Williams, and I'm not sure how truth this holds. But what I will say is Caleb Williams had some pop off games where I see a huge potential. And I remember way back in the beginning of this podcast, we were talking about progression, rookie QBs, and seeing the improvement week to week. And I don't know if he's like hit a brick wall here. There's still some. I'll stand by him for a little bit, which is exactly why I'm going to take the Bears +6 here at home. I think this is going to be another divisional game here, a little closer than everyone thinks. Yes, they're rattled here, but this is another coaching thing too. And notoriously, the guys that make some changes and what the heck's going on. Maybe we'll talk about this a little later, but I'm going to have this division game closer than 6 points, and I'm taking Bears +6 at home.
I am going the opposite direction here. I think the Packers are going to take this one easily, -6. Caleb Williams, like you said, might have hit a brick wall. He might be on his way down. We can talk about that here in a bit. But, I mean, the Packers are just a good football team. And I think they clear the spread at -6.
Short and sweet. And here is my game of the week. Game of the week. Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers. Divisional matchup. This is going to be a good one. Two teams fighting for their top spot in their division. Now, this game, I can see going either way. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been looking phenomenal. Russell Wilson is cooking it up. He's chefing it up. George Pickens looks like a stud, catching everything thrown his way. Then the Baltimore Ravens putting up big numbers against the Bengals, even though their defense sucks. Yes, I get it, but still, Derrick Henry is absolutely incredible. Lamar Jackson is actually playing MVP football, unlike last year where he didn't deserve. We won't get into that. It's fine. It's okay. I'm past it. But yeah, it is in Pittsburgh. The terrible towels will be going rampant. And for a divisional game, I think it's going to be close. But give me the Baltimore Ravens -3 spread.
That is exactly what I'm going to agree with too. I think the Ravens have and look here too. We're 11 weeks in. This is week 11. The Ravens defense is the number 2 rush defense in the league right now. Rush yards against 730. And adding Tre'Davious White, which is coming in probably this week. He wasn't able to play last week. And they just got torched on the throw against Joe Burrow. I think this is an added piece that's just going to make their defense much more sound. And we all know the notorious Steelers defense. I think the Ravens are evenly matched, to be completely honest, on the defensive side. And we all know, like, what are the? Can we do another? Can I test this system again? Another boop 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 Steelers points per game on offense, and see average points per game that the Steelers score. I think I'm gonna take the Ravens spread here, even in Pittsburgh, because they're 2 loss. We were at the game. Cowboys, my Cowboys. They have 3 wins this year, and guess who they beat? one of those games was against the Steelers. Yeah, I think I have the Ravens here. They're an elite team, and I think they take the division lead here. And yeah, that's all I got to say about it. We'll pass it to brother.
To answer that, the Steelers have a average of 23.9 points per game,
23.
and that is ranking them 12th in the NFL.
Okay, that's not too bad actually. I was expecting much worse.
So I will say this, right? 12th in the NFL, yes, but if you look at their past 4 wins, they have scored 26 points and over in every single one of those wins. 32 against the Raiders, 37 against the Jets, and 28 and 26 against the Giants and Commanders. However, if you look at the last 4, they're playing a Raiders team that pretty much quit on the season, Jets team that is still looking for something and anything to get them going, Giants poo caca. And I will say though that last week the win against the Commanders was massive. I was not expecting it. Um,
That was pretty big.
the only thing, right? They let up 27 points against the Commanders, which is why I'm so high on the Commanders as of right now. They're a solid offensive team. They scored 27 points on the Steelers, who are, I think, second in the league for points against. They have a absolutely stellar defense. Now, the thing that keeps me from picking the Steelers is just the fact that the Baltimore Ravens have the highest scoring offense in the league. They're very hard to stop, and not only that, the weak spot on the Ravens is their pass defense, and the Steelers do not have a great pass offense. They are scoring a lot of points, but it's not really against formidable opponents. So I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens in Pittsburgh at -3, and I do think that they split. I just don't know if I'm going to be right this week or if I'm going to take them in Baltimore. Obviously, we'll see how the season progresses. After this week, there's 5 more weeks until they play again. So this week, I'm taking the Ravens at -3 just because they're rolling right now. So yeah, give me your Ravens -3.
All right. Well, that's definitely a game a lot of people are gonna watch. Unfortunately, it's a 1 o'clock game, so you're gonna have to sneak it in there with whatever team you want to watch in the 1 o'clock window. But definitely a game to watch, and some big playoff contention there. So definitely an eyeball looker. Yeah.
That's for the division, yeah. Whoever wins that.
Oh
is...
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
Next 1 o'clock game: Jacksonville Jaguars, Detroit Lions. This is going to be a game to show you exactly what a good team should do against the Jaguars. Instead of not scoring any touchdowns, the Detroit Lions are going to score 7. It's going to be 42-3. The Lions have a -13 spread. I don't care. It can be 29. Give me -13 for Detroit Lions at home.
Yeah, see, this is exactly where I'm going to go completely opposite to you. 13 points is a lot. And yeah, I know I was just high on the Lions not taking any games off and easy opponents, and they're well coached and all that. But I'm kind of leaning towards how I'm not going to say good, but okay the Jags have been playing against these high tier teams. They beat the spread against the Eagles. They beat the spread last game. And I feel like 13 points is a lot of points in the NFL. I think they still are eager to win these games. And I'm going to take the positive spread here for the Jags. I think they keep it within 13. Obviously, they're going to lose the game still, but against these kind of obviously better teams than them, they've been able to keep it within the spread. So I'm going to take them.
This one is actually tough for me. It's a huge spread, as we all know, and I hate when spreads are this large because of garbage time yards. But we've seen teams get absolutely blown out of the water, and I think Detroit is one of those teams that just does not let their foot off the gas for any means. Jacksonville has the worst defense in the league. Detroit has one of the best offenses in the league, and it's in Detroit. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's playing well. They have a two-headed monster in the backfield who share an exact split in carries. Well, I don't know if it's carries or snaps or whatever it is. If we get a beep boop boop beep boop boop on that, that would be cool. But I don't know. I think Detroit is one of these teams that can cover a spread like this against the worst defense in the league. So I'm going to take the -13 for Detroit at home.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't have 5 interceptions again this game, I think they'll win by 900.
I mean, yeah, that like I said, I mean, we're looking at the two teams, Detroit Lions and Minnesota Vikings, who, I mean, those teams are rolling everybody. I mean, Goff threw 5 interceptions and still won the game. Obviously, it wasn't by a whole lot, but to be able to have that bad of a game and still come out on top is absolutely insane to me. And if they can do that last week, I don't think there's anything that's really going to stop them from covering the spread against Jacksonville this week.
All right. We have the next matchup here. Indianapolis Colts, New York Jets. This one is borderline eyeball avoider. Especially with what I saw last week with the Colts Bills game. That game made me feel very, very much sad for both sides of the ball there. I don't know. We'll get on the Bills later, but Colts looking not great. Joe Flacco is, definitely out of his prime. I'll say that, but he can still deliver some balls here and there. And the Jets are still possibly one of the biggest question marks for me. I feel like they have all their pieces. They just everything is just I don't know. It is in New York, or I guess Jersey, whatever you want to say there. And yeah, this game for me also could go either way, because I have no idea. I have no idea with the Jets. The Jets either come out and play okay, or they're just god awful, horrible. I don't want to watch them play. And the Colts are just one of those teams that they can pull off some big wins, and then other times they can just not. So I really this is a toss up for me. Two struggling teams. I'm gonna just rock with the +4 here for the Colts. Just because I think it's gonna be a relatively low scoring game, but I think the Colts might be able to keep it close here. So yeah, I'm going with the +4 for the Indianapolis Colts.
And that's exactly what I'm going to do. They might even pull out this win here. And yeah, I think this is definitely categorized as a big eyeball avoider. And it's just so unfortunate that the Jets almost it's like this is the year. We got the team, we got the quarterback. Our defense was rolling last year. We're like one of the top, I would even say top 3 defenses in the league. What happened? Like, what's this whole entire year seems in shambles. I really don't understand it, but yeah, I got the Colts here. JT's healthy. He's going to be running pretty well against the team, and man, I say they might even. I almost went whoopsie daisy on this game, but I'll keep it +4. But it's definitely going to be one of those ones that are going to be a little bit closer in points. So yeah, I got the Colts +4.
For my second whoopsie daisy of the week, I'm taking the Indianapolis Colts to win this game against the New York Jets. You look at the last 3 games that the Colts have had. It was a tough schedule. The last 3 weeks: Texans, Vikings, Bills, all Super Bowl contenders, all of them, every single one. Only lost by 3 to the Texans, lost by 8 to the Vikings, lost by 10 to the Bills. That is not terrible, right? 10 points to one of the highest scoring offenses in the league in the Buffalo Bills. I mean, last week I was kind of scared. Obviously, Josh Allen with 2 picks wasn't a good look. They were still able to pull out the win, but the Jets are in shambles, and I think Indy has a very good sense for winning games against struggling teams, unless it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. They always have a tough matchup against the Jaguars. I mean, I called it the loss to the Jaguars in Jacksonville, and I think that this is the week that they break this 3-game losing streak, even with Father Time throwing the ball. I think he obviously last week kind of it was not a good look for him, but he
Time.
still you like that?
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, the dude is like 52. But the Jets are in shambles. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, you have the pieces, like brother said. It just nothing is clicking, and I think the Colts are going to take advantage this week, and they are going to win this week against the Jets.
That's fair. That's fair. And yeah, I could definitely see the whoopsie daisy here too. So I think that's a good pickup. For the next 1 o'clock matchup, we got Miami Dolphins against our home against the Las Vegas Raiders. Miami Dolphins with a -7.5 spread here. The Raiders are in complete shambles. Speaking of teams in shambles, the only thing they got going for them is Brock Bowers, who is the tight end #1 in the league. Let's be real here. I'd even take him over Travis Kelsey here right now. He looks incredible. He is the Ferrari in the shed and the hood. It's it's what it is. Miami Dolphins got their win against the Rams. It was a very ugly win with many turnovers, but they got the win. HN wasn't really utilized as much as I would have loved for fantasy implications. However, I think they come out here and I think they put up a lot of points against the Raiders. I think they kind of need that. I think Tyreek Hill is due for a over 100 yards receiving game. I mean, he got one week 1, but hasn't gotten one since. So I think it's time. I think this is a good team to do it against. And so yeah, I think they put up a lot of points, and I think they win by over 7.5. So we'll go with the Miami Dolphins -7.5.
Alrighty, let's think back to what happened all of last year. We had two teams, one in the AFC, one in the NFC, that won all of their games against the below 500 teams. AFC happened to be the Dolphins. NFC we won't talk about, but every time the Dolphins, no laughs, every time the Dolphins played, and I think now that they're getting the quarterback and Tua's had a couple weeks under his belt, under 500 teams, they absolutely decimate. And we're talking, we almost had a record last year. What was it, against the Broncos, right? What did they score? Like
Yep.
70 freaking points. I think that's going to be kind of the same theme going into this game. They're gonna match up against this. I won't say bad team. I think every team's good in the NFL. That's why they're in the NFL. But one of the under 500 team in shambles, coaching player, whatever, trading players. They're playing for drafts at this point. I'm gonna take them -7.5 as well. I think they're gonna outscore. This is gonna be one of their games where oh my god, the Dolphins are back, but they're not really back kind of thing because But they're gonna score a lot of points here, and I think it's gonna be the same thing as last year. I'm gonna take a -7.5.
This is a clean sweep here. I'm taking Miami -7.5. I was actually really upset when I called the Whoopsie Daisy Raiders versus Chiefs because the Raiders had it in their hands and they just quite literally fumbled it. And I think that win would have put them in a different mindset, but losing that game when it was so close kind of just deflated the balloon a little bit, whatever was left. And I'm not talking a hot air balloon. I'm talking like a circus balloon that some clown that was hired off Craigslist for $20 for the whole day tried to make a little balloon animal, and it was covered in dirt, and one of the pieces popped as he was trying to make it, and that's what the Raiders had before the Chiefs game, and now it's just completely decimated. They are in
It
shambles.
seems
Nothing
oddly
matters.
specific.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I look at when I look at the Raiders this year. So yeah, I will say obviously with Tua back, he didn't have a terrible game. Obviously 20 for 28 on passing, touchdown with a pick, but the pick doesn't really bother me as much. I think that the Miami Dolphins will win this game and cover the spread at 7.5.
I was getting more and more impressed each
I
word
thought it was
when
going
you
to keep
spoke
going.
during the story. Yeah, that was developing really well. Like,
I
oh
thought
my
that was
god,
going to be the next hour
I,
of the podcast.
I thought I was listening to a Pixar movie. That was incredible. Well, anyways, next 1 o'clock game. We got the Los Angeles Rams in New England against the Patriots. The Rams are favored -5 right now. Like we like we just talked about, the Rams kind of struggled against the Dolphins. I'd like to say the Dolphins defense is pretty good there, and so I'm not going to hold that too much against the Rams offense, but I feel like they have I mean, Cooper Cup is healthy, Puka Nakua is healthy, and those guys are a dangerous duo. But I still feel like, and Kyron Williams in the backfield too. I mean, he's pretty good. I feel like they weren't very utilized very well in that game. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll have to see against Patriots, who somehow squeaked out a win against the Bears. It's one of few this year for the Patriots, so you got to give them some credit. Drake May has actually looked pretty good for a rookie. I think it's gonna be. I think it's going to be a good future for the Patriots for a little bit here with Drake May. I think they got to build around him and maybe get him a solid squad, and I could see him possibly making a even run in the AFC East, maybe possibly, especially if the Jets keep being horrible. But yeah, it's against the Rams, -5. I don't think they do it this week though. I'm gonna go with the Rams -5. I think if we can keep using Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua as they should, I think this will be easy for the Rams here.
So I look at the Rams too, kind of almost as the same scenario as your one and only New York Jets. It's almost like I was really high on this team, like coming in with like everyone's coming back. You got the offense back, Nakua, the Cup, like they're all. It seems like they should almost as last year coming into the playoff run and winning games, and I just didn't see it. I didn't see it last game. The Dolphins with a 2-win season, it should have been, even though it was a weird game with all the like turnovers and just a sloppy game almost. But I, they're like Jets area here where they should
Yeah,
be like way better than they are, and I don't know, man. But for this game, I have them as a -5, beating the Patriots here. But I'm gonna keep my eye on it because yeah, it just seems like they should just be playing a little better than they are right now, especially with a legendary coach like their coach is top tier, like S tier, like
oh,
up
I
there
love them.
with Andy Reid. Even he could talks with that, but
Yeah, I think he's my favorite coach in the league. Sean McVay
he's
is
really good,
incredible.
really good. But yeah, I have a -5 this game, but I almost lean the other way. They should just be playing way better than they are right now. But I'll have them win this game.
I agree.
I'll take the spread this game.
Yeah, I also agree. They should be playing better. They got other pieces back. Um, I do like that Puka Nakua punched somebody in the face. That was pretty cool to see.
It
Uh,
wasn't great. No, fantasy reasons, it was not great.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
know,
like it.
yeah.
for an athlete's perspective, you like to see the fire. It's good to see, even with the record that they have, that somebody, there's people on the team that still want to, produce and do what they need to do to win. There's still fire under their ass. So I'm gonna take the Rams -5 here, and I think they cover it pretty easily. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'll keep it short and sweet and leave it at that.
That's a clean sweep.
What? Clean sweeper. The last 1 o'clock matchup. We got Cleveland Browns at New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints right now are favored by -1, so this is a pick 'em here. We're gonna go probably money line here for whatever team you choose for money reasons. The Browns, yeah, they're a team, and they are in the National Football League, and so are the Saints. So are the Saints. It's weird to think that, isn't it? Just let that simmer a little bit. I'm gonna go with the Saints money line because for money reasons, and why not?
Where did the Browns the Browns have a bye last week? Right? Yeah, I don't think they played last week.
They did.
Who did they play?
Nobody. No. They had a bye. Sorry.
Okay, they had a bye. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Browns, Packers, Raiders, Seahawks all had a bye.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for some reason, I would take like an alternate spread here. I don't know why it's a pick 'em. I don't see the Browns winning. I think the Saints win here. I'm gonna take like a. I think they win by 10. I think they win by 10 here.
Oh.
And that's my prediction. My estimation is it's a 10-point game. The Saints win, which is why I'm gonna take them -1 for this game. But yeah, I might even throw an alternate for this one. I think they win pretty soundly here.
It actually is more money if you take the spread here.
It is.
Yeah, never mind. Take the spread. Yeah,
Money reasons.
-1. For money reasons, exactly.
Well, I hate to do it. Just kidding. I love doing it. It's a clean sweep. New Orleans hates spread. The Browns just, I mean, come on. Sell the franchise. It's time to move on. It's been years.
Sell the franchise.
I'm taking the Saints -1. And I honestly think the Browns should not only sell the franchise, but they should just completely rebrand.
Just
You know
kind of a side question here. Who do you guys predict have the first round draft this year?
Giants.
Giants?
Yeah.
We got a lot of teams.
that is-
We got a lot of teams competing for it.
That is a good question.
If
I would almost bet Jags.
No, I don't think I think the Jags run into a couple more wins here.
No, I think they're like done.
No, I don't think so. They'll run into a couple more wins, but the
I don't
Giants are
either.
just a poverty franchise.
I don't either. I would say
It could be the Panthers. Well, the Panthers kind of.
I would say the Raiders.
Ooh.
Dude, could you imagine?
Maybe
them?
the Cowboys.
Maybe the
Actually,
Cowboys.
maybe. We might
Okay,
actually
well,
lose the
we
next
might.
4 weeks.
Because you know what's
in a
going to
row.
happen? If the Cowboys get the first draft pick, Jerry Jones is going to draft curtains for the fucking window in Dallas. He's going to
Yeah.
draft blackout curtains for that fucking window.
And for the
Maybe-
first round pick in the NFL. Wait, is this right? What?
100
I
foot
could see it
blackout
happen.
curtain
I could
from
see
Lowe's.
it. I could see it happen. Oh god.
You know what? Maybe they do need curtains for that giant sun glare that has been destroying them in their own home stadium.
Yeah, that's what we're
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what? That might actually be a good first round pick. But anyway, sorry, we got to move on.
I don't think
Let's move on
anything's
here.
saving us. We're screwed.
Except
Yeah,
for curtains,
they're
maybe.
done for.
I'm
They're
so
done for.
sad.
Except for curtains. Anyways, here, 405 matchup. Getting into the late windows here. Seattle Seahawks, San Francisco 49ers. Divisional matchup. Anyone's ball game for that division. Right now, the 49ers are favored -6.5 in San Francisco. Chris McCaffrey's back. They won their game against Tampa Bay, unfortunately. I mean, Baker Mayfield, oh my God, let me tell you. Stiff arming guys and throwing absolute dimes. It's incredible what he can do. You know, if I was face to face with Baker
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Anyways, yeah, moving on. The Seahawks have not been playing well. 49ers got Chris McCaffrey back, and that is all the reason I need to go with the 49ers spread. Although, divisional matchup, Seahawks and 49ers do tend to play it pretty close. So I could see a possible spread here for the Seahawks, but I just have no faith in them right now. So that is why I'm taking -6.5 for 49ers.
All right, well, this is where I'm going to disagree with you, brother. So I'm going to do another categorization here into, like, the Rams and Jets. Like, I look at this 49ers team. You got the same core, the offense, and Purdy
I
and
would not group
QB and CMC coming back, and you only win by 3 points against a fully injured Buccaneers team. Like, this should be a pop-off game. This should be like, hey, we're back. I don't.
I severely disagree with this take.
I mean, I don't. I just the way I see it. I don't know. I
You
feel
know
like
who's okay? Well, tell me this: who's the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? That's why it was close. Thank you. I rest my case.
okay. Well, yeah. As good as he is, I mean, you got to have some help as well. I mean, look at Dak. 60 mil highest paid quarterback in the whole entire league. We see that he only has CeeDee Lamb. You cover him, and what else do we have? Nothing. That's the same thing as Baker going in. And I know the Cowboys are the best team in the NFL, so the way they're struggling this year is just kind of like you need some extra pieces on offense. And I try to hide
I can
myself up a
literally
little bit. Okay, we
feel the
don't need any comments about
on
this.
that statement. I can
But
feel it here.
but yeah, it just it should have been for me like CMC the comeback game and winning and literally like the last field goal of the second of the fourth quarter. Like this should have been a game where you're like back and you're winning against a fully injured team by more than a touchdown. I just don't see like their eliteness from last year or the years before. Divisional game, I'm gonna have a +6.5 Seahawks here. I think it's closer, and this might be even like a last second. Maybe Seahawks win. Who knows? But yeah, I just don't. I'm gonna categorize them as they should be playing better at this point. Yeah, give me the plus spread here.
I mean, I agree that they should be playing better, but but with the Niners getting CMC back, obviously they barely beat the Bucks. The Bucks are a tough team to win against. They're just that scrappy team. They don't really give up, and they're gonna find ways to stay close in games. The Seahawks are kind of derailing, and we saw, I can't remember what week it was, but when their team started fighting on the sideline, it just, you kind of knew that things weren't really going well. I mean, I think we all called it in the contenders and pretenders after week 4. Seahawks were definitely pretenders, and they've showed it in full force that they just aren't a good team this year. Um, I mean, Christian McCaffrey only had, what was it, 13 carries last week. Uh, I think they're trying to ease him back into like a full workload, and this might be the week to do it against a struggling Seattle team. The Seattle Seahawks have like, I think they're bottom 10 in the league for defense, like yards per game. And looking at CMC coming back, I mean, he can do it all. Not only does he, obviously, he's probably the best running back in the league healthy. He can run the ball. Seahawks are bottom 6 in rush defense, but he obviously is also very well versed in checkdowns and catching the ball 1 yard past the line of scrimmage and smacking in the face with 30 yards on the ground. Uh, so for that reason, I'm taking the Niners at -6.5 against the struggling Seattle team.
All right. Yeah, it should be an alright game, though I think. But yeah, let's go into Denver. Denver Broncos at home against the Atlanta Falcons. The Broncos favored -2.5. And why? Why did that field goal have to get blocked?
Yep.
My whoopsie daisy was right there, right in front of my eyeballs, and it got blocked.
Can't believe it.
Because of the script, guys. Guys, it's the script. I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. Well,
Honestly,
too bad that script isn't gonna matter for this next game. We'll get into that though. Well, honestly, yeah.
I when I saw that happen, I honestly thought like this can't be real.
No,
like
it's not.
like there was literally 4 guys that plowed over the line to block. Like, when does that happen? It's a game-winning field goal. How is your whole entire line getting plowed over for the block like that? It's almost like this literally
like
can't be real.
It wasn't even a 50 plus. Like, it was a field goal that's
A
extremely
chip
feasible.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a chipper.
Yeah.
It was literally, if you look back at it, it was one singular blocker that,
Insane.
like, he just decided to take the play off. Which, why? Maybe somebody's in his ear whispering, 100K at the end of the game in your locker if you let them get by you. I don't know. I don't make the rules. But Caleb, please continue.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's incredibly sad. I absolutely despise Denver and their whole entire franchise for that exact reason, and I hope they lose the rest of the games. Besides that last Kansas City Chiefs game, I hope they win there. But other than that, they could they could lose out. I don't care. I don't care about you anymore. You had one job, and you blew it. So you know what? Go Atlanta. I'm taking their +2.5 for this game for that sole reason. Just because my heart desires it to be so, I am going to root for the Atlanta Falcons. You know what? Screw it. You know what? Absolutely screw it. Let's go with the whoopsie daisy. Let's go with the money line for the Falcons. Screw you, Denver. Screw you. Next, go.
Well, they had a really good game. I wouldn't. They played well. It's just that last play.
I don't care.
Kind of sketchy, but yeah, I'm gonna take the Falcons as well. I'll take the spread for them, but yeah, this is gonna be a bounce back game for them. I mean, I have them in the NFC Championship here, so they gotta start winning games. So I almost have to take them here, but I don't know. This has got to be one of their like, let's win the division here. Let's get ahead of the Bucks and make it to the playoffs. I think they could win. I like the money call, but I'm going to take the spread just to be safe.
I am going to go with my third whoopsie daisy of the week.
No, I don't think it's happening.
Or is it my second? No, it's my third because I picked the Commanders.
Yep, that's the third.
Yep. So this will be my third. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons for the whoopsie daisy. I mean, last week, what are we doing, right? They're starting to. I mean, not really starting to slip. They are 6-4 right now, but they're a much better team than they played last week. Denver played a very hard-fought, tough game, and I think this might honestly be a very, very good game to watch. It's in a good window, but there's one game that we should probably watch definitely before we watch this game. Well, I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons for the third whoopsie daisy of the week to beat the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is going to be a close matchup. I think it's going to be a good one to watch.
Okay, Caleb, move on. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Sure.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I know you guys are
for the
ramped up
last.
for this one, of course.
Do it.
The last game in the 4:00 window.
Oh yeah, baby.
You got the Buffalo Bills, baby, Bills Mafia at home. Finally, oh my God! Thank
I hate
you,
being
Roger,
part of
for
this
not giving us an
podcast right
away game for once
Can I leave?
against the Kansas City Poopers, the
Can I sign off?
Swifties.
No,
don't,
you
no, you have to stay with us.
Okay.
You're the one
Yeah.
recording. If you sign off, it's over.
The
Oh, yeah,
Bills
that's right.
are favored at -2.5, which frightens me. Let me tell you that it really does scare me. But I don't care. Give me the Bills all day, every day. I'll go with the money line here. Screw it. Give me the Bills. No, actually, for money reasons, I'm going with the spread -2.5. Yeah, for money reasons, spread. Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs. You suck. This is the game you lose. I'm going. Okay, guys. I'm sorry. Don't listen to any of my pick'ems. I am going straight from my heart and not my brain. Go with the Bills. They're great. They're gonna win this game. -2.5. Buffalo Bills at home. We're the best.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, this is like the age-old history game. Stealing your draft picks, trading the draft picks. You always lose to them in the postseason. You never can get past the Chiefs. 13 seconds left on the clock. Guess what? You lose. And yeah, I know you guys are both amped up here, like super excited about this game, crazy going in. But guys, man, do I have a situation for you? Being an outsider, not a fan of either of these teams, looking on the outside. Bills -20. Yeah, the Chiefs suck. They're not good. Their offense has been struggling. Their defense is their only key part of the thing. The Bills have been playing a pretty solid football. Run game's good. Pass game. I'm going to take an alternate here. I think this is their first loss of the year. Yeah, As much as you guys are amped up about this game, I think it's going to be an easy win, to be honest with you, especially at home in Buffalo. I have them minus 20 this game.
Wow, I was
I'm
so
going to take
close.
Bills minus 2.5.
I'm telling you guys right now, I was literally a hair away from spending $400 on tickets to go to this game. I was right there, but I didn't do it because I'm poor, and that is the only reason.
Late. It's not too late.
It's not. I'm gonna look it up right now. No, but you continue while I do that.
Do you know how much you can get for one of your big toes? Anyway, let's
Wait,
move on.
Brew my
Wait a second.
Yeah,
get rid of my kidneys.
I mean,
Have you been researching this?
No.
Yeah, can we get a beepity boo?
All right, so for legal
So
reasons,
the cost of one human big toe can range from a few $1,000 to over $100,000.
Wow.
You got that so fast.
And our beep boop beep boop 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 is now flagged on every government agency, and he will be tracked for the rest of his life. Anyway, let's get into it. Alternate spread minus 15 for the Buffalo Bills. The Chiefs are the worst undefeated team probably in history, and I think the Buffalo Bills, even without Keon Coleman, he's not going to be playing this week against the Chiefs. Amari Cooper will probably be back. He is looking good in the right direction, and let me tell you, Matt Milano is coming back. They opened his practice window, and he will be returning. I doubt he's going to play this week, but oh my God, is that going to be so nice to have back. But yeah, I think the Buffalo Bills are going to finally get the revenge. This is going to be the team to do it, to take the 0 off the board for the Chiefs, and I'm very, very excited for this game. I cannot wait to watch it. So give me the Bills minus 2.5. If you are going to bet on this game, yes, definitely take at least alternate spread. I'd say probably minus 12. 20 is kind of crazy, but Bills minus 2.5 is my pick.
I want to see Patrick Mahomes cry. Anyways, 8:15
He
Sunday
does
night
every
football
game.
game. Well, yeah, no, but I want to see him like yeah.
Like Nick Sirianni crying at the
Oh,
end.
yes,
my
exactly
God.
that. Oh, exactly that.
Yeah.
But anyways, 8 o'clock window, Sunday night football. We got Cincinnati Bengals at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are actually favored in this game, minus 1.5, after Jamar Chase had a 400-yard game with 18 touchdowns.
Insane.
Oh yeah, it was incredible. It was great. He has more receiving yards against the against the Ravens than Tyreek Hill does this whole entire season. He's very. I mean, obviously with the quarterback things with the Tyreek Hill, it's not that incredible, but like still, that's still pretty incredible. He's doing great. Honestly, their offense still incredible, but that's the defense that really worries me, which is probably why the Chargers are favored for this game at home. The Chargers look pretty solid. Defense is very good. Their offense is still kind of finding its way. It's kind of hard pickings of who Justin Herbert's going to throw the ball to, but he's been doing a little bit of everything. He's been getting involved with the run game. The pass game's been looking pretty all right. Lad McConkey, their rookie, is looking pretty good. So I think this is going to be a very, very good Sunday night football game. But for some reason, I'm drawn to the plus 1.5 for money reasons for the Cincinnati Bengals. So that is exactly what I'm going to go with. And actually, it is almost like a pick 'em. So you know what? Let's go with the money line for the Cincinnati Bengals. Go for it. Send it. I think the Bengals pull this one out. I think they need to, actually.
So the last time I recall looking at a spread, and I was completely surprised by, wait, what the heck? Why is this team favored? I forget what it was, but yeah.
Jets, Texans.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Why are the Jets favored? Same thing here. I'm looking at the Bengals Chargers, and I'm like, wait a second. What in the world? Why are the Chargers favored this game? I think this is one of those ones that it's like, even though it's a point spread, one of those ones where they're like, I mean, this team's favorite because they're looking, but that's exactly why I'm taking Bengals money as well. because they're not losing. I also have them in the AFC Championship, so I'm gonna take Joe Burrow. I believe in him. You're gonna get this dub. I'm taking Bengals money as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to ask if this constitutes as a whoopsie daisy, but being 1-5, I don't think it does. I'm also on that train for the Bengals money line. Um, I mean, Jamar Chase is a cheat code. I'm very sad that I had to run up against him in fantasy this week. Caleb, please don't talk about it. But yeah, I mean, the Bengals, all that just to lose is a really rough look, and I think they come out with even more fire against a definitely a beatable Chargers team this week. So I got them winning this game.
I think there's a lot of slander on the Chargers here, but I think they're a solid football team. Okay, like I said,
Definitely
I have no
solid.
idea why, but I can see it. I can see the Chargers winning this game, guys. Okay, but be nice. All right, be nice to Herbie, or don't. I don't care. Anyways, Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football, guys. The Texans and the Texans and the Texans. We'll go with the Texans minus 7.5 spread.
My. I mean, to be honest, I don't even want to talk about it as well. I'm doing the same.
Honestly,
just go to the
honestly,
next.
if Nico
I mean, honestly,
Collins
don't even
wasn't
say
in
anything.
this game,
Don't
if
even say
Nico
anything.
Collins
Don't even.
wasn't in this game,
No.
I might have taken the plus 7.5
No.
for the other team.
No.
Okay, or not. Never mind.
No. We're cooked. We're playing for draft picks this year. Next, brother, what do you got? But if it wasn't known, Texans minus 7.5.
Or my fourth whoopsie daisy of the week.
Okay, guys, he's insane.
No.
I'm taking somebody else in some other week. It's not going to be 4 this week. It's going to be Houston, Texas minus 7.5.
Okay, that's pretty good. You actually got me there.
You got me a little bit too. Right.
I was like, there's absolutely no way. All right.
Should be more, to be honest. I think it should be the Lions.
No,
I think this should be minus 13.
Honestly, if Nico Collins wasn't coming back this week, I could see it. I could see it. I could see the 7.5, but because Nico Collins is here, I think they're just going to destroy it. But yeah, all right. Thank you for joining us for the Pick'em segment. Now, I want to talk a little. I mean, we talked about it a little bit during the Pick'ems, but I want to talk a little bit about one specific team, the Bears. They're in a very tough division, and there's a problem. They have not been generating any offense. Obviously, you got I also saw that tweet saying some players might have been saying, bench Caleb Williams, put in Mr. Wee Wee Baguette Man. So what do we think about that? I mean, what is the problem there, and why does Chicago struggle so much with quarterbacks? They seem like they have the good picks, and they all just turn out to be pee pee poo poo. So do you think it is a Caleb Williams problem, or do you think it's a coaching problem? I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Justin, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I'll take the lead on this one. I like this one a lot. And coming into this, even before the season started, I had the Bears indubitably making the playoffs, not only because how many wins did they have last year? Was it 9, 10, something around there? But they had can we get a boop? How many wins they had last year? But they had a much easier schedule coming into this year, and I look at that and the new QB. It was like their team was not horrible. It's like they're missing the QB. They come in, Caleb Williams, first draft pick. This is it. This is their season. I will put this probably heavily on the side of coaching. And if you look at the history of QBs leaving the team and doing much better and whoever they end up with the next year, the previous couple or the next couple of years, there's just huge. and I think the right move is, especially with the OC getting out of there. I think that's the right move for them because something's definitely got to change. Caleb Williams, is a great player. We've seen his boom games, we've seen his bust games. It has to be some sort of something's wrong. Something's wrong. This is a season where like everything's gonna fall together for the Bears. Like easy schedule. This should be playoff run. This should new QB. You got you bring all the offensive pieces. That was their whole entire plan in the offseason. Let's build a team behind our number one draft pick. Let's bring in all these receivers. We got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. Their defense is good. What happened? Like this has to be something. And for me, in my opinion, you got to put it on the coaching staff. That's just what I see, to be honest. But I'd love to hear from you guys what you think. But I heavily put this on.
I actually have
Some
another
sort of play
question
call
to
and-
ask here. After the beep, boop, 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 boop.
So the Bears' record last season, they went 7-10,
7
finishing
Which is-
last in the NFC North, tied with the Vikings 7-10.
Well, it is a strong division again this year, but
Yeah,
It is.
seven
It is.
wins with a borderline like I guess bad team, I guess you can call it, but making all those changes in
Definitely
the
much better
offseason and
team,
number
and
one
they're on-
draft pick, way better, and in way easier schedule. Like I think going into the season, they had one of the easiest schedules, like on in the
Oh,
NFL.
I have another question too. How much of it do you think is the offensive line? Because their offensive line is very bad. We'll say that too.
I mean, they do say the line controls the game. But I mean, if that's your only worry, and I see it, maybe that's a coaching thing for the O line too. Like who knows?
That's true.
Like
That is true.
I put it on the coaching here, and you just see like the history of every QB that leaves just significantly gets better. From like you leave the Bears, you get better. That's just what happens. But yeah, I have high hopes for them. Maybe they figure it out, but I thought this was the year that they really would turn it around. Especially, they had to make made one of the most moves in the offseason, adding pieces to their
Oh
offense.
yeah,
here.
for sure. I believe they had one of the most, if not the most, cap space. So they were going crazy in the off season.
Yeah, this is like you said, one of those years. It should be like, this is it. They're making the playoffs, and yeah, just following through. This year, I put on the coaches, in my opinion.
So, I want to say this, right? My whole thing with rookie quarterbacks, we're seeing kind of a split here with Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. Obviously, Caleb Williams has had some shining moments, but I want to bring it back to the last 3 games, which is their 3-game losing streak that they're currently on. The game against Washington, they probably should have won. Obviously, that Hail Mary at the end of the game is just it. Nobody's gonna see that coming. Like that's a once in a year, maybe once every 3-year type of play, where it just, the ball tips up and there's a dude standing there like, hey, a cookie, right? So, the last 3 games, 18 sacks, 9 against New England, 6 against Arizona, and 3 against Washington. Those are the 3 losses, right? And I think what we're seeing is with Caleb Williams, he's kind of getting that factor of now you're in a league where everybody is as fast as you, the game is so much quicker, and it like everything happens so much quicker, so you have to make decisions quicker than you're used to, and I think that's what we're kind of running into as the season goes on. I think he's got to get better. It just as a quarterback standpoint, obviously coaching has a part to do with it. His O-line is letting him down, obviously, to a certain degree. But if you're holding that ball too long, no matter what, like how good your O-line is, things are going to happen, right? You're going to get sacked. You're going to throw errant balls to nowhere, probably get picked off, or just absolutely terrible incompletions. that should be, good yardage. So I think that's what he's kind of running into right now. 9 sacks against New England last week, and it's just getting worse and worse, right? You're looking at a 3, a 6, and a 9, so it's literally going up in increments of 3. Obviously, if he next game gets 12 sacks, it's written in the stars, right? But that's probably not going to happen. There just has to be some sort of kind of growing up factor, not necessarily growing up, but kind of seeing the game differently. And maybe that's like they just fired their OC. Maybe that's something that they're trying to look into, is not so much looking for plays to develop downfield, but maybe more checkdowns, maybe more quick routes, maybe a couple more screens. Get the ball away from them quickly, get them comfortable throwing the ball, instead of trying to find open receivers downfield and then just getting demolished. So, I think the OC change is a good change for sure. I just don't think that it is solely on the coaching staff. Things have to. I mean, their defense is good. Don't get me wrong, their defense is good. So there's really not any extremely necessary changes to make there. Obviously, when you're in a situation where you're losing games, everybody's gonna kind of deflate a little bit, and people are gonna play worse. But in my personal opinion, I think that's just kind of what we're running into here with Caleb Williams specifically.
Yeah, you guys brought up some good points. I mean, obviously, I agree. I agree with both of you. I think Caleb Williams definitely needs to get rid of the ball quicker. I think that's a big reason. I know, like in college, he was running around the field, he ran like 30 yards backwards and somehow scrambled and pretty much ran 120 yards every single play to make a 5-yard reception. But yeah, this is the NFL. It's not going to fly. I mean, it worked maybe like once or twice for him in the NFL, but he got lucky. I'll say that for sure. So definitely needs to get the ball out quicker. I do think their O line is very bad. I think that needs to be primary, focus for the next draft. I definitely think they need to upgrade there or free agency, if they can even find one in free agency. But I also definitely think it's coaching. I mean, look at the history of all these quarterbacks that have played for the Bears. They're just like they're like known for horribly developing their quarterbacks. I mean, poor Justin Fields. He kind of got devoured by Chicago, and finally maybe has a chance to be quarterback one in Pittsburgh, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, we can get Russ for like $0. So why not throw a vet in? So I kind of feel bad for Justin Fields there, but I mean, for the games that he did play, he looked pretty incredible. So I mean, he was doing pretty well. I mean, obviously still some flaws there, but you got to think he's still like almost basically a rookie if you don't count Chicago, right? But yeah, I think they struggle very much with developing quarterbacks. Personally, I believe it is a big coaching thing. I think there's got to be some big changes, even maybe up top. I don't know. They just struggle in developing their quarterbacks, and there's a big history of it. So I don't think one OC firing is going to completely solve all their problems. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be much more of the same thing. I think they have to develop him and to getting the ball out quicker and to not doing those silly run back for 20 yards just to get sacked because these guys are 10 times faster and stronger than you. So yeah, I think there's got to be a lot less of that, and yeah, I don't see it going well for the Bears, especially for the rest of the season, and because of the division they're in. It's a tough division, so I don't know. I don't have much faith right now in the Bears and Caleb Williams, but I do think it'll get better next year though, for sure, for sure.
I'll say that as well. Like, they drew the short straw in the division they're in because, my lord,
Yeah,
those
that's
teams
a
are.
tough division.
Yeah, even the Vikings. I was not expecting the Vikings to like come in this season.
Oh yeah, me
and
neither.
play as well. So yeah, it's just really unfortunate like how it lined up. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of the Vikings, you mentioned it earlier. You don't think they're kind of in a little slump right now?
um, they
I mean,
definitely on
the worst defense in the league, and they don't throw Sam Darnold doesn't throw one singular touchdown,
on
but he
the
throws three
eyeball
interceptions.
test. On the eyeball test, they definitely have not. been playing as strongly as they have in the beginning, where we're like, holy crap, this is a Super Bowl team. But I still believe they're gonna make the playoffs. I know that.
I think their past 3 games, they have been completely carried by the defense. I think something offensively has not been working for him like it has in the first few games. I mean, we'll go back to like their game against the Texans where they won 34-7. Like that was absolutely a clinic offensively. They looked like, oh my god, they definitely deserve where they're at. They're absolutely insane. And then even the game after that, when they played the Packers, they won 31-29. Absolutely incredible offense clicking. Played the Jets, obviously a little bit less, but that's whatever. But then they get to the Rams, and then their offense just lacks, and they lost that game, 20-30. And Sam Darnold, I mean, he did play a good game. The run game wasn't really there in that game. And then they go on the Colts, and then Sam Darnold is throwing 2 interceptions, nothing really working, except, obviously their defense is still incredible, so they pulled that game out, but it was close. The Colts definitely could have won that one. And then they play the Jaguars. After those 2 interception game, he throws 3 interceptions in the worst defense in the league. I think, personally, I think they're almost on fraud alert for me. I think the past 3 games for me is alarming. And especially in the division that they're in, I think they need to kick it up a lot. I think they need to really show out against the Titans, who have a pretty good defense. So I'll say if they can put up a pretty decent amount of points against the Titans, I think it'll restore a little bit of faith because they got some tough games. I mean, Titans, the defense is pretty good. The Bears, their defense is pretty good. Then they go to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals, dark horse, they're looking pretty good. I mean, they won 3 straight in the COD deal, which is unbelievable. I can't believe it. But yeah, they got a tough schedule ahead, and mainly because of the division that they're in. But if they want to make a playoff run in that division, I think they're gonna have to kick it up a notch, especially against the teams like the Titans and the Bears. This one should have been a cakewalk, but it turned out to be really close somehow. So they're on fraud alert for me, but I don't know.
I mean, still they're one of those teams that just win games. They only have 2 losses. We can't forget about that.
Yep.
The
And
division,
one of them is against one of the best teams in the league this year, if not the best.
Yeah, it's almost
top 3 for sure.
I've done a lot of categorizing things this podcast. It's almost like you put them in the same bracket as the Chiefs. They win football games.
That is true.
Like pretty
that's gone
or
back,
not,
that's
or
gone back
whatever it is.
many years too.
They've only lost twice this year. Like they are going to be in the playoffs. At this point, you gotta put a tally in the playoff run. Now, if you gotta look like if you're play against them, do you want to play against the Vikings in the playoffs? Even like the defense holding them together, like you said, the past 3 weeks, defense wins championships. That's what the age-old saying says. If Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in the league, just end of the year pops off, Samuel, we know he slings it. If they collect it at the end of the year, I still have a lot of belief in them, but they just find ways to win games. Even last week, you don't score a touchdown, but guess what? You beat the spread. You beat more than what Vegas put you down for winning for. And that's the defense. So, and if the defense is going to hold them together, and then all of a sudden the offense is going to pop off, I think you can't write them out. I still like them. I'm not going to write them off as fraud alert yet. I think they're a pretty scary team to go against going late in the season, and I just like them. Even the past 3 weeks is kind of weak, but I just like them.
Writing them off as fraud is kind of a stretch. They've had a tough schedule. I will not lie to you. Obviously, last week covering the spread, it is I mean, it's set for a reason. Vegas knows a lot more than we do. So they covered the spread against the Jack. I think honestly, it's just Jacksonville. Like it's just a hard place to play at, and I don't know why. Um, the strength of schedule that they have left. I mean, it's it's tough, but it's not like, oh my god, we're playing like, the next, what is it, 7 weeks left, 8 weeks. Next 8 weeks, we're not playing six top five teams, right? The last two games, the Packers and Lions are going to be. I think that's kind of where we're going to see where they're at come playoff time, because they're like brother said, they're going to make the playoffs. Now, my only fear for the Vikings is Sam Darnold. He's not. He was never supposed to be the franchise quarterback. He kind of stepped into the role when JJ McCarthy went out, and he kind of stepped up to the task. He's doing what they're asking of them. I mean, their loss to the Lions was by 2 points, which that game was absolutely incredible. And then the Rams they were just on one that game. Obviously last week, squeaking out the win against Jacksonville is not a good look for them, but also they won the game. You know, I hate to use this for the Vikings and use it against the Chiefs, but like everyone looks at the record at the end of the year. They only have 2 losses, and I honestly I don't think they're pretenders by any means. It's going to be definitely down the stretch. It's going to be interesting to see how well Sam Darnold holds up, how well he's been playing, and that is what I'm excited to watch.
Well, that's the thing for me. The past 3 weeks, obviously, the beginning of the season when they were going undefeated, it was like, wow, they're incredible. Their offense looks great. They tough loss to the Lions. Oh man, I don't really discredit them for that. And they go out on the Rams, and then they lose there, and it's like, okay, I mean, sure, maybe we'll give them one. They just lost, tough, whatever. And then they almost lose to the Colts. He throws 2 interceptions. It was a very weird game. The Colts probably should have won that, but they got the win. Okay, good. Again, but then they go into Jacksonville and they don't score a single touchdown. It's like, okay, it's not a good look, on the other team, and I think they pull that one out. No, I don't think they pull that one out. So I don't know. It's really just this past 3 weeks where Sam Darnold. Well, past 2 weeks I'll say where Sam Darnold has kind of gone into this interception slump, and it's just kind of I don't know. I think their offense could be much better than what it has been. But yeah, defense does win games, and I mean you could probably trust their coach too. I mean, it's a very good head coach calling the plays there for the offense. So I mean, I don't know. I just think they gotta win these games, which I guess they have, but they gotta win these games against these bad teams, especially because of the division they're in. So
Yeah, division definitely
we'll
makes
see.
it tough.
We'll see. And I mean their last couple of games, like I said, I mean Cardinals tough game, Falcons tough game, Bears. We'll see what the Bears look like come that time. Seahawks, I guess, whatever. They're the Seahawks, but then Packers, and then the Lions again. It's gonna be, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something to watch. So we'll have to see with the Vikings there, but yeah. Now, let's talk about the only undefeated team right now. Unfortunately, we got to do it. If somehow they beat the Bills because the script said so, and there's no other reason to describe how they would ever lose this game. Let's take a peek at the rest of their schedule. After the Bills come the Panthers. After the Panthers come the Raiders. After the Raiders come the Chargers. After the Chargers come the Browns. And then the last two are pretty rough, but or the last three, I should say, are pretty rough. But I mean, those games very easy. And then the Texans and the Steelers, obviously tough games, but we'll have to see a little bit more who's injuries or anything like that. But I don't know. I think if they somehow beat the Bills, we're looking at a potential and very slight potential undefeated season. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But is there a chance? Yes, and that frightens me. What about you guys? What do you think?
For me, honestly, No, absolutely no shot. And after they lose by 20 this week, they're going to have a first round playoff exit, is my prediction.
Wow.
Yep, I don't see I don't see the strength. Yeah, I mean they haven't lost a game, but man, every game seems like how are they winning? Like actually, how are they winning? Uh, yeah, my prediction is fully first round playoff exit when they make it. They lose. They're gonna lose this week, and write it down right now. Well, my predictions are always 100% accurate. I'm always right. I'm never wrong. They will lose this week, and they will lose the first round of the playoffs. Undefeated season, no more. You'll see it happen in week 11 of the NFL football season. No chance. I don't care who's coming back, running back or not. Yeah, it's over
Sounds
for
like
them.
we got a new member of the Bills Mafia.
No,
Oh, oh.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
not that serious.
I'm
The Chiefs are bad.
I'm not saying this because I don't like the Chiefs. I'm saying this because it seems very apparent to me that, like I said earlier, they are the worst undefeated team probably in NFL history through 9 games. Uh, they they just win games that they should. I mean, last week, dude, that like come on, that really hurt. That was very disappointing. Went overtime against an absolute decimated Buccaneers team. Ended up winning because it's OT rules, and they literally get a weighted coin when they flip it, and Chiefs always win it, and they score first drive every single time. Almost lost to the Raiders. The Raiders fumbled the bag. Uh, I mean, week 2 and 3. I mean, definitely against the Falcons, they should have lost. There was a missed call, but we don't have to rehash that. This is just a team that is not blowing anybody out of the water by any means. And I mean, now they got to play the Bills. And I think this is the week that maybe they get exposed. The Bills don't have like an insane. James Cook is good, don't get me wrong, but they don't have like the X factor running back. He's kind of stepping into it, but the Chiefs' run defense is really good. Like their run defense is insane. I will give them that. But with Josh Allen throwing the ball, I mean, he just makes throws. He's starting to kind of like obviously he's at 4 interceptions on the year. One of them wasn't really his fault. Last game he threw 2. So, and down the stretch, I mean, I think against the Chargers down the stretch in 4 games from now, that's going to be a tough matchup for them. I mean, and then the last 3 weeks they got Texans, Steelers, Broncos. Like those games, we're really gonna see where the Chiefs are at come playoff time. And I think Brother's right. Like he's crushing the nail with a hammer. Like not even a regular hammer. It's a sledgehammer, and he's throwing it over the shoulder like he's trying to hit that little bell thing up at the carnival.
There's the Pixar movie again.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, I think he crushed it. I think the Chiefs are. They're just not that team. Obviously, the record dictates that they are that team. They're obviously the only undefeated team in the league this year, but they're just not. They shouldn't be, and they won't be, and they are going to lose first round playoffs.
You know, I would agree with all that because I don't think they're all that incredible.
Even the sledgehammer.
Yeah, including the sledgehammer, the nail,
Yeah.
the shoulder, all of it, even the balloon. Yeah, it's all there. But you guys are forgetting one thing.
No, I'm not.
They're not just one team. There's a secret hidden second team that is paired with this team.
Is it
I
the
would even
strike?
say a third. Yeah, it's the Zebras, and it's the scriptwriter. For some reason. Oh man, that Broncos game really. Ooh, wow. Yeah, no, that block field goal that just solidified it. It's rigged. The NFL is rigged. Everything
I'm
is
not gonna
rigged.
lie. That tilted me.
Oh man, that was my whoopsie daisy too. Oh wow. Ooh, if it wasn't for my whoopsie daisy, man. Oh wow. I mean, I did horrible last week, regardless. But that was the one I really wanted to win, and I got stuffed the last second of the game, which makes me sad. But you know, I mean, their upcoming schedule: Panthers, I think they win. Raiders, I think they win. Chargers, tough game, but I think they win. Browns, I think they win. It is the last 3 games: the Texans, Steelers, Broncos, that I think are going to be very troubling. But yeah, I mean, if they won't lose or they won't win against the Bills. I think the Bills are going to crush them. Of course, Josh Allen, Daddy, is going to throw 900 yards and gritty all over him. It's going to be great to see. But if the scriptwriters apparently decide something else, I mean, I don't know. It's going to come up to the last 3 weeks, which is scary. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I think they suck though. I'm right there with you guys. And now, it is time for everyone's favorite part of every week.
It's time for It's Okay, It's Not Okay.
And this week, we're going to reference a video clip that was aired on Twitter, became pretty popular overnight. During a flight, they were watching that Detroit Lions game against the Houston Texans. There was a flight, and they were about to land. However, game-winning kick on the line. The intercom comes on. The flight attendant is trying to get everyone situated, ready for a smooth landing. However, oh no, you're going into home territory. I mean, everyone in this clip had that game on their seats, and it was it right there. They're about to kick, and they start talking, and everyone on that plane shushes and boos the flight attendant. So my question: is it okay, or is it not okay, to boo and shush your flight attendant just because of a possible game-winning kick in the National Football League? Justin, we'll start with you.
Well, to be completely honest with you, I didn't even see the clip or video, but this sounds absolutely hilarious. Uh, yeah, the NFL, and especially when it comes to your favorite team, it is super important. Last second field goal kick to win the game, playoff implications on the line, but your life is on the line too. Like, I don't know, like, how many scenarios are like if you don't turn airplane mode off. I still don't know if that's a myth or like a or conspiracy or whatever, but if you don't turn your phone into airplane mode, the plane's crashing kind of thing. But I mean, yeah, I understand the hype in your favorite team, and you got to watch the kick. And that, I mean, the flight attendants also have a job too, but your job as a fan is also as equal as important. But when it comes to something flying 30,000 feet in the air and ground and fast and boom, uh, I think you might. I mean, you can always get the updates after the plane safely hits the land and you're stopped. So for me, I'm gonna say maybe the flight attendant takes a little bit of a priority here, and make sure the wheels actually hit the ground first before you get the updates. I'm gonna say it's not okay to boo someone at their job trying to do their job while you're you're trying to watch a sport. Let's all forget this is life versus sport kind of thing here. So yeah, for me, not okay to boo someone doing their job, but yeah, I see it absolutely hilarious either way. So
That was less Pixar and more Michael Bay. I respect it. Um, so I'm gonna say this, right? Let's think about how long a flight is. If you've ever run on an airplane, you know how long it is. You know the process. It's very draining, right? And you have literally, if it's a last second game winning kick, how long is that gonna take total? From the special teams coming on the field to setting up to snap, kick, miss, make, whatever the outcome is, you're looking at maybe 35 seconds, right? I mean, you got to take that time as a fan to watch what happens, because if you don't, everything could change, right? That's at least how I look at it. If I'm not watching the game, they might have lost because of me, because I wasn't watching. That's just what goes through my brain.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm gonna watch that game. I'm gonna watch the kick happen. I might not be as rude, but also like, if you think about it, when you get on the airplane, when you buy airfare, when you buy a ticket, it is expected for those people on the plane to essentially, this might sound a little bit too like bougie, but they're expected to work for you, right? They are getting paid to service you on that plane. So if you want them to like just like please like get out of my face, this is very tense and I might have to throw you out the window if you don't stop. I think it is absolutely and entirely okay to like shush them or to tell them to hold off or what. I think it is okay. And then obviously get your dry crackers and water afterwards.
Your dry crackers.
They're not even crackers. They give you like they
It's like
take
a
the
little
unused
cookie.
roll of paper
Yeah.
towels from the bathroom and they
Oh,
recycle
no.
it, pack it
But
together,
those-
and throw some salt on it and feed it to you.
Nah, but those almonds go crazy though.
I've never had almonds on an airplane. I
Oh,
usually
man.
I get the cookies.
No,
I
don't
was
do
getting
the,
cookies
you're
and
not even.
coffee.
No, do
Yeah,
the
I always
almonds.
get the cookies too. Yeah, every time.
I get the
No,
I
you
get,
guys
no,
gotta
no.
do the almonds. You're doing it wrong.
I got the pretzels a couple times. The pretzels are okay.
I don't trust pretzels. I mean the cookie. How can you really mess up a cookie that bad? Yes.
Well, yes, because it's not even a cookie that they give you.
Yeah, I know. It's the paper towels that they cram
right,
into. Like,
exactly.
They recycle.
But
They
it's
put
like
it
a
in
sugar-
a
See,
wall.
that
sugar
is my
rush
exact
stuff.
reasoning. That is my exact reasoning, but for the almonds. See, like they're just almonds. You can't screw them. And those are. Honestly, when you've had nothing for a while to eat, and they give you a packet of almonds, I'm shoving those nuts directly in my mouth. And you could take that. Either I'm either talking about the almonds or I'm not. That's up to.
Who's the
that's up
quarterback
to
for the
your-
Buccaneers?
Oh no, his nuts would go straight into my. Anyways. For me, is it okay? Is it not okay? Right? You know, honestly, if the roles were, if I reversed the question and said, is it okay for you to try to make a public service announcement right when my home team is trying to kick the winning field goal? I would say absolutely not. Never in a million years. It is 1,000,000% okay for these guys to shush that. Like, how dare she? Obviously, in the clip, she was in good spirit. She came on and she was like trying to like tell everyone, "Hey, this is what we need to do." But everyone's like, "Oh, what are you doing? We're about to cook the winning field goal." And then she comes back on it for a second, and goes, "Oh, sorry," and everyone's like, "No, stop! What are you doing?" And it was just kind of funny, I mean, the camera pans around and literally every single chair had the game on. It was really cool. And you're watching a game-winning field. You're on a plane ride. You're sitting in the air for, I don't know how long the flight was, but it could have been hours. And you're just trying to watch your team win. And at the very last moment, you sacrificed all that time on that plane just watching this game, and it's coming down to the last 30 seconds, and she tries to tell you just to make sure you're sitting down. No, absolutely not. I don't care. I'd rather fall off the plane. No. I'm taking the hit to watch this thing. So yeah, screw that flight attendant. Just kidding. You were just doing your job.
Let me try to save you all, but no. All right.
I think it was a funny situation, for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, you heard both our sides there. Let us know. We're gonna post it on Twitter. The It's Okay, It's Not Okay. Go vote over at the Fasce Cast, or do we call it X these days? I ask this every time, but
Twixter.
Twixter. Yeah, that's right. That's what we're calling it, Twixter now. But yeah, follow us over there. Go vote on It's Okay, It's Not Okay. We're gonna be back here 8 a.m. Thursday, as you know, every single week, and we'll catch you next week as well. Week 11 underway. We'll catch you next week at week 12. Thank you guys for following. Thank you guys for listening. And we'll see you all next time. Cowboys are desperate. Okay, here we go. That's the end. See you guys.